Thing from the basement of La Penta, it's WICR.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Vault. Almost 2 hours into the show, so another solid hour up ahead. A lot more great stuff to get to. But right now, very excited to give you a little bit of a preview of what we've got this weekend in the world of soccer. A very good slate of games in all leagues. Very exciting. But the first thing I want to start off with is Serie A because a little while ago, I talked about Gervinho and AS Roma and that just despicable act of racism that we saw the other day in the Europa League. But we're kind of going to jump gear now to the weekend because right now we've got such a great match coming up on Monday. Juventus against AS Roma, just one of the most iconic matches in Italian football. So much history between these two clubs. Whenever they play, it is must-watch football, and I cannot wait because the first match these two played earlier in the year was the best game, the best match of Italian football this season by far. I mean, the excitement from this game at Turin, I mean, the ground was shaking. It was a phenomenal match. A little controversial with some penalty kicks from Juve, but whenever Juve plays, there's always a little bit of controversy involved. And I'm excited for this match because this is a match that Roma always gets up for. This is a match that means a lot. And at this point, let's be honest, if we think realistically, nobody's catching Juve. Juve's at 57 points. Roma's at 48. Juve right now is just at a different level than everyone else in Serie A. They will win the Scudetto this year once again and capture another consecutive title. But I think at this point, the thing you've got to like is just what this matchup could do because it is at Stadio Olimpico. Roma has been in a very tough situation right now. Just all they've been able to do currently is a sustained draw after draw after draw, and I think fans are getting frustrated. Fans are a little fed up with just all these draws, not being able to close out matches and come away with wins. I think when Gervinho came back, we all kind of thought that he would make things a little bit easier in the playmaking department. They would definitely get a little bit better. But he has struggled a little bit coming back. He did have a very good game last Thursday, thankfully. So that will mean something. But I just think this match means a lot. It will be interesting, and especially with Andre Pirlo now. Andre Pirlo with a calf strain apparently will be out 2 to 3 weeks. He is out for this game, but I think right now, Paul Pogba and Carlos Tevez, they live and thrive for the big moments. And when it comes to a big match like this, they always show up. They always make the big plays. We just saw it in the UEFA Champions League the other day. Phenomenal play against Borussia Dortmund. I mean, they were fantastic. It seems like in these big matches, the two of them seem to always get going early. Carlos Tevez especially. In a lot of big matches, Carlos Tevez always seems to ignite Juve very quickly, very soon when the match starts. And that automatically kind of gets the engine rolling for Juve, as if it doesn't need to get rolling enough. But, I mean, it always seems to put them in great position in these big matches. So that'll be very exciting to watch out for. I think it'll be a very good matchup. But I just think, being realistically about it, the way Roma is played right now, I don't know, maybe we get a 1-1 draw, a 2-1 Juve win. I might land a little bit closer to a 1-1 draw here because I do think Roma, it'll be a very tight game. It'll be very intense. With Pirlo out, I don't know, but I think it is at Stadio Olimpico. It will be very loud. The fans will be there. It'll be a very good environment for Roma to be in. Can Francesco Totti do his magic again? We've seen it a lot this year in these big spots. Again, kind of like Carlos Tevez. Totti in the huge spots has come up time and time again against their eternal rival, Lazio. He was phenomenal with 2 goals. Roma didn't play well in that game. His 2 goals are what would help to give them the draw. Would have liked to win, but I mean, he saved them in that match from embarrassment at Stadio Olimpico. So we'll see what Totti can do. I mean, it'll be a very good match of Italian football. I can't wait because that first matchup, I still have visions, and I can still hear the Turin faithful, how much of an environment that is. There's a reason why Ray Hudson calls it a beautiful game. You can't get this type of noise and intensity level from anyone else. It's going to be a lot of fun. But then we move into La Liga a little bit, and it is very interesting because last weekend it seemed like, and this is kind of my philosophy, and Barcelona was on a rampage. Joe D, my friend, and I, huge soccer guy, we were on this show a couple weeks ago, and we said we believed that Barca was going to overtake Real Madrid. You just looked at Real, they were a little bit bordering on that line of shaky, and Barcelona was unstoppable. No one was stopping Barca. I mean, you couldn't stop them. They were moving the ball well, creating so many chances. Messi was just always doing what Messi does, and Neymar and Suarez were playing phenomenal as well. But a little bit of hiccup for them, losing 1-0 last weekend, and Real Madrid kind of getting their swagger back with a win. And it just seems like every time we think that Barca is about to get over Real kind of gets their confidence back with a big win. And I think that's something they always are able to do. Benzema has been phenomenal. Ronaldo is Ronaldo since he's been back. Things look good for Real Madrid. Things are looking better for Barcelona, bouncing back against Manchester City in the UEFA Champions League. So it's going to be very exciting for these matches coming up because pretty soon we have El Clasico Part 2. It's coming up. We're going to be inching there closer and closer. Barcelona's playing Granada. You should think that Barca will get back to their form. They had been just demolishing people. It's not just that they were winning. They were just dominating and embarrassing people. And a little bit of a hiccup at Camp Nou last weekend. I'm sure they will bounce back. But Real Madrid, again, they will play. I think they will get another win as well. And we move into the English Premier League. Another good weekend in the English Premier League when it is not a good weekend in the Premier League. And it's very exciting right now because at this point, we're seeing Manchester City is getting their confidence back. 5-0 win against Newcastle United last weekend. And that's what we've been waiting to see. Yaya Toure is back. And Yaya Toure is such an important piece for Manchester City because he's really the guy who sets the physical tone for City. He's the guy who makes Sergio Aguero's life a lot easier. And I was on Soccer Showdown this week, and I said, I think that Manchester City relies a little bit too much on Sergio Aguero sometimes. I think they're overly dependent on his offensive production sometimes, and it puts a lot of pressure, and some guys need to step up better. But Yaya Toure in the lineup makes everyone's job easier, creates better chances, sets that physical tone. It sets everything up for City, and I think it was a very big win last weekend. If they continue to capitalize, and here is the tough thing, Manchester City is going to be playing against Liverpool this weekend. Now, obviously, two big clubs, always exciting, but Manchester City hasn't won against Liverpool at Liverpool's place since 2003. And that's just amazing. It is a 7 o'clock a.m. start, so a very early game, but I will be up. It will be a very exciting game because Liverpool, we've seen, has been very, very inconsistent this year. A little bit of a tough start for Brendan Rodgers and his club. They seem to really kind of start to find their form again, and then they've been a little bit of trouble as of late. Manchester City, you would think, is kind of finding their form again. And a lot of people think the only way for Manchester City to kind of have a chance to win the title this year is for them to win out the rest of the way. And that's very difficult to do with 12 Premier League matches left. Is it possible? Yes. With Yaya Toure back in the lineup, it's possible. With Wilfred Bondy now with the club, it's possible. But it's going to be very difficult, and especially winning a game at Liverpool, which you haven't won in their place since 2003, it's going to be a challenge. It really will, but I think it's possible. It'll be a very good game of football to watch. I can't wait because I want to see how does City bounce back from this 5-0 win. They did struggle. They lost to Barcelona in the Champions League, but confidence. The first half was a disaster. They couldn't stay on the same field as Barcelona in the first half. But in the second period, they played much, much better. Sergio Aguero founded the net. He could have found it a couple more times. They did play much better. We'll see. The way the game ended kind of hopefully will set that momentum up for City because Lionel Messi, the best player in the world, missing the penalty kick. Now, Joe Hart, that's got to give him some confidence, get his motor going a little bit. But that is it for the Premier League. It's a good weekend. Arsenal against Everton. Some good Capital One. You have Tottenham Hotspur against Chelsea. That should be fun. It's a very good weekend in world football. When is it not a good weekend in world football? The beautiful game. Very happy to break it down. We're going to take a little bit of a break and then another hour. Got to talk college basketball. I mean, let's be honest. My thoughts, is anybody going to beat Kentucky? I really don't think so, but I'll get into it a lot more when I get here another hour. Take a break now, though, and so stay with us for a little bit later, and we will be back.